The void is silent until someone screams through it. I heard that scream 3 days into my patrol. Thin, broken, more vibration than sound. My ship, the Halcyon Drift, was crawling past the wreckage of an old war. Fragments of cruisers floated like bones. And then, among the debris, a faint distress ping pulsed once every 47 seconds. Ancient frequency. Not human. I almost ignored it. The war between Earth and the Lyrians ended 5 years ago, and salvaging enemy tech wasn't worth the risk. But that single, trembling signal felt alive. I steered closer. The wreck turned out to be a Lyrian courier pod, hull torn open, emergency beacon flickering. Inside, amid shattered glass and dried starlight, lay a girl, barely breathing, skin shimmering faintly silver. Her eyes were closed, lips blue with frost. I pulled her out and sealed the pod behind us. When she gasped awake inside my med bay, her first words were not in any human tongue. They were music, 3 syllables that hummed against my bones. The translator lagged before offering. "Why did you return for me?" "Because you were still alive," I said. She blinked at me as if that were the strangest reason in the universe. Her name was Ailira. She was a navigator, one of the Lyrians who read star currents through resonance rather than instruments. The explosion that destroyed her convoy scattered her shipmates into the void. She'd been drifting for weeks in cryostasis before my sensors caught her whisper of a signal. Lyrians had always fascinated and frightened humans in equal measure. They looked almost like us. Tall, luminous skin, eyes reflecting nebulae, but their voices could bend metal when charged with emotion. During the war, that voice had been weaponized. Now, the same tone trembled through my ship each time she spoke softly to thank me. For days, she floated between sleep and consciousness, regaining strength. I learned she could hear my heart from across the room, could sense electromagnetic pulses like rhythms of a song. When she smiled, the lights dimmed automatically, as if the ship itself responded to her mood. "You saved me from silence," she told me once, sitting in the glow of the viewport. "We are taught that humans fear the void. Yet you entered it alone." "Maybe I was already used to being alone," I said. She tilted her head, studying me. "Then we share that." The Halcyon Drift was never meant for 2. The corridors felt smaller now, the hum of the engine softer. Sometimes I'd find her in the galley, fingertips tracing the steam from my coffee like it was art. Other times, she'd hum near the reactor, synchronizing her heartbeat with the core. One night, I caught her gazing at me, eyes wide and luminous. "You dream loudly," she whispered. "What does that mean?" "In your sleep, you call into the dark. You say, 'Not again.'" I looked away. I lost people too. Her hand, cool, almost weightless, rested on mine. "Then you understand the quiet that follows." We reached the edge of Lyrian space after 2 weeks. I offered to drop her near a relay station, where her people could find her. She stared at the stars, expression unreadable. "They will call me traitor," she said finally. "Captured by a human, saved by one. They will not believe I was alone." "You're not my prisoner," I said. She looked at me then, really looked, and something unspoken passed between us. A gravity neither of us had chosen. That night, she entered the cockpit quietly and sat beside me. "You plan to leave me there anyway," she murmured. "It's safer for you." Her lips curved slightly. "Safe isn't the same as living." The stars stretched like threads beyond the window. I felt her hand brush mine, hesitant but deliberate. For the first time since the war, I didn't feel like a soldier, just a man adrift beside someone who had also fallen out of the world. The decision came 3 hours before docking. She sealed the coordinates, locked navigation, and looked at me defiantly.
"Take me somewhere new," she said.
Not home. Not Earth. Somewhere the sky hasn't chosen sides. Lyra. I owe you my life, she interrupted, but that isn't why I stay. When I was drifting, I reached into the dark for a voice. Yours answered. Her words hit harder than any plasma round I'd taken. I could have overridden the lock, forced the route, but I didn't. Instead, I disengaged the beacon and plotted a course to the unknown sectors. Weeks passed in that quiet exile. We repaired broken panels, harvested ice from comets, mapped forgotten orbits. She taught me Lyrian songs that shaped magnetic fields. I taught her human jokes that made no sense to her, but made her laugh anyway. The ship began to feel like a heartbeat shared between us. Then, one morning, I found her in the airlock, holding a fragment of her old insignia. They're searching for me, she said. They sent a retrieval signal. I can feel it. Do you want to go back? I asked. She shook her head. No. But they will come. They always do. We hid among nebulae for days, masking our trail. Still, the Lyrian patrols grew closer. When their cruiser finally cornered us near the Crimson Rift, Lyra's eyes glowed with determination. Let me speak to them, she said. They'll think I captured you. Then they must hear the truth from me. She stood before the comm projector, silver light wrapping around her like armor. The Lyrian commander's image flickered to life, a stern figure with eyes like twin stars. Lyra of the resonant line, he intoned. Step away from the human vessel. You are to be debriefed and cleansed. She lifted her chin. No. I choose to stay. Gasps echoed through the transmission. You are compromised, the commander snapped. Your resonance is tainted. Then let it be, she said softly, because this human heard me when no one else did. He crossed silence to find me. He is my bond. Her voice trembled through the ship like a living wave. Consoles flickered, alarms muted, and even the enemy channel went still. In Lyrian culture, the word bond was sacred, spoken only between souls entwined by choice, not blood. The commander's expression hardened, then vanished. The channel cut. No pursuit followed. When she turned to me, I was still frozen, trying to breathe. You didn't have to do that, I whispered. Yes, I did, she said, stepping closer. Because it's true. After that day, there was no going back. The galaxy stopped feeling divided. It was just vast and open and ours. We charted unclaimed systems, built tiny beacons for lost travelers, and sometimes, when the stars dimmed, she'd rest her head on my shoulder and hum softly. One night I asked, Do you ever miss them, your people? I miss the songs, she said, but not the silence between them. And what do you hear now? Her smile was faint, luminous. You. Time blurred. Months became years measured only by the rhythm of her voice and the hum of the ship. Once, during a meteor storm, our shields failed, and she threw herself against the control panel, singing in frequencies that made my teeth ache. The meteors melted to dust before reaching us. When it was over, she collapsed into my arms, trembling. See, she whispered, weak but smiling. Even the stars listen when I call for you. I held her until the silence felt like safety again. I don't know what future waits for us out here. Maybe one day the Lyrians will forgive her. Maybe Earth will finally stop seeing them as threats. Or maybe we'll just keep drifting, two voices carried on the same current.